Welcome back to the Arbitrage YouTube channel. In today's class, we'll be learning how to encase an elastic band. Okay, we'll be using an inch elastic band neatly on your dresses like this. And then if you turn it to the wrong side of the fabric, you will see that the elastic is not showing. So I'll be taking us through how to do this neatly and easily. So it's a beginner class and it is very simple to make. If this is what you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Okay, so this is a requested video. I'm just going to be putting us through how we can add elastic band neatly and easily to the waistline of our dresses. Okay, so this is the half length of the dress. It's an A-line dress, and this is the lower part of the dress, so you can see it in two pieces. And I'm adding this 1 inch elastic band inside this. I'm encasing it inside this waistline that we have. Okay, so like I said, you need to make sure this place is neat. So after making sure that it is neat, remember we are putting an inch elastic here, so you can just place your elastic here and then you mark it so that you know the exact space you need. So after doing that, now I'm just going to eyeball it. You place your fabric. This is the half length, and this is the lower part, the skirt part of the dress. So you place your fabric right side facing the right side like this, you can see. So this is the waistline of the half length and this is the waistline of the main dress, facing each other like this. So you can see the way I've placed it, and then you make sure that what you have left is enough to pass your elastic through like this. Okay, so depends on what you want, depending on the freeness that you want, you can just place your elastic from one end to another, and you make sure that it can stretch up to the other side. So you can see that this is going beyond this, so if you want it really tight, you can still trim it off a bit, or you just work with your measurement. So now after placing it like this, the next thing you're going to do now is just to go and sew this. Like a quarter of an inch is okay. So now I'll take this to the machine now and sew it. Okay, now so I'm on the machine, and like I said, I just place it against each other and then I'm going to sew it. So you can see the way I'm sewing it is not so much. I'm just sewing it tiny. Okay, then you're going to sew it to the end. So when you sew it to the end, this is what it looks like. So you can see. So now this space that we have here is where we're going to be encasing this elastic. So to do this, I'm just going to place this. Okay, and like I said, you need to make sure that this edge is neat. So now I'm just going to place this elastic like this now, and then I'm going to close it up. Okay, so after closing it up here now, I'll go ahead and stitch it. So you can see the way I'm stitching it. I place this in between this seam allowance that I have. You can see I still have excess. So it's better for you to have excess than you have something that your elastic will not be able to contain your elastic. So now you can see I just push the elastic, then I place this seam allowance, I push the seam allowance, then place the elastic in between it. Then I'm going to hold it and sew it here so that it can hold it for me. So again, I'm going to push up my needle and I'll put my fabric underneath it. Okay, then I'm going to stitch it. So after stitching it now, I've held one side of the elastic, as you can see. So now I'll just take this elastic now, and then I'll do the same thing for this other side. So you can see the way I've held this other side also, and then I'll take it under my machine and then I'll stitch it also. So now you take your needle off and again you stitch this. Okay, so once you stitch it, this is what you have. You can see your elastic in between. So now we'll start to sew this. So to sew it, you arrange it or put this under your machine, and then you sew very close. So I hope you can see it. I can feel the elastic. This is the elastic here. So I'm going to sew very close to the elastic. You can also sew on the elastic, but if you sew on the elastic, it means you have to be dragging it as you are going because it will not be adjustable. So I'm going to sew very close to the elastic. So now I'll just put this under my machine now, I can feel with the elastic with my hand, so I'll just start to sew it. So you make sure that this is neat, it's not rumpled. You arrange it well and then you sew. So I'm sewing it, and you can drag to see what you have. So I'm sewing this now. Okay, so as you are sewing it, you can just check underneath it to make sure that you are pushing your elastic towards this starting point here, so that it don't match on your elastic. So once you are sure, you continue to sew it. Okay, so once you have your gathers here and you can see that it's not enough here, so you just lift your the foot of your machine up and then drag the elastic, so that it can give you enough room to sew on this side also. Because you've not actually matched the elastic on this, it will be easy for you to drag it. So you can see the way I've dragged it now, and then I'll continue to sew it. Then while sewing it again, I'm going to push it towards this side, so that it doesn't exceed that point that I want to sew. So you continue sewing it like that till you reach the end point. Okay, so now I'm at the end point. I'm just going to close it and completely seal it up. So now once you done with sewing, this is what you have. So you can see that your elastic now has been successfully encased on your waistline. And then if you turn to the right side, you can see that the elastic is not obvious on the right side. It's in between your fabrics. And if you weave these edges neatly, you will see that everything will be neatly finished. So you put this on the back side of your dress also, and then just join it on the shoulder and the side, and your dress is ready. Okay, so before I go, I just want to show us several ways we can also do this. So you can actually leave your dress, your elastic band like this, or you can just run another stitch on top of it when you are sure that you've done this, so that there is this beauty that this also gives to it. But this process is actually not compulsory. So if you want to do this now, I want to run 2 extra elastics, so I'm just going to try to centralize it. I'll be placing one around there and another one around here. So now to do this now, you just try to stretch this out now, and then place it under your sewing machine, and then you start to sew it. So once you are sewing it now, you drag this, you stretch out your elastic band, and then you sew. So you stretch it out again, and then you sew it. So you do this till you reach the end point. So once you reach the end point here, you back stitch it, and then remember I said I'm placing 2 on it, to place another one in between these 2 lines. So now another one, I'm going to take my thread now, and then I'm going to sew this. So just like I did for the first one, I'm going to stretch this out and then sew on it. So what this does is that it strengthens the elastic more, and then it also gives it this tiny effect. So you can see what we have here. Instead of the elastic just being wide, this just has another beauty that it gives to it. So you can see the effect that this is giving to our elastic band. So whichever one you choose to work with is fine. Just know what you want to achieve by the time you. I hope you enjoyed making this tutorial with me. If you enjoyed this, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next